So, welcome. My name is Naima. If you are new here, I'm the founder of the Academy for Womanhood and the newly formed and birthed the Eternal Feminine Network. And today's live stream is about the newly birthed the Eternal Feminine Network, which is a global network for this woman. It's a global network. It's a taboo network. Let me repeat that. It's a global network. It's a taboo network for women who are ready for the long game of the work that they're here to do. And for the interest of impact, without sounding too corny, for those of you who know yourself to be chosen staunchly, so this is a whole level of you were born like this, so this isn't something you work for or prove or study under a master to become. So I'm talking about bona fide chosen ones who, if you left it up to them, they would have never did it. But the thing in them, like that Charles Bukowski quote, titled, it's a poem actually titled, "So You Think You're a Writer?" That's the name of the poem. So You Think You're a Writer? And he really wrote it for writers. But the point that he made was speaking to that fire that's in the chosen one. And in paraphrasing, he said something like, if it doesn't burn in your gut, don't do it. And a part of the poem that really moved me, he said, if being still doesn't drive you mad and feeling like you want to kill somebody, if being still doesn't do that to you, don't do it. If it's not realer than real, don't do it. I'm chosen. Okay. Don't do it. He said. And then in the end of the poem, and you can go look it up, go Google Charles Bukowski, So You Think You're a Writer. So You Think You Want to Be a Writer, I think is what his title is. Toward the end of the poem, he said, if you are chosen and it's really in you, it will do it by itself and it will keep going until you die or it dies in you. I mean, this is why I don't even like to say chosen, because when I look at people on the internet who call themselves chosen, first of all, if you're really chosen, you're always looking for your likeness, consciously, unconsciously. And you're willing to do what it takes. You will get on a plane. You will create housing conditions. You will create money. You will do what it takes to be with your likeness so y'all can do the thing that you were born to do distinctly. These people, I apologize on their behalf, or I guess for the spirit of truth, that they have bastardized chosen, and everybody walking around, well, if you're born, you're chosen. Okay, yes, if we want to get into the enjoyment of science and say that it is against, as Charles, I forget his name, says, it is against tremendous odds that you are even born. True. It is against tremendous odds that out of all the millions or billions of sperm that emerged from your father's penis when he ejaculated inside of your mother, you came out. Yes, that is stupendous. That is miraculous and fantabulous. Yes. And there are distinct ones of us who have a thing in us that doesn't quit, that does its own thing. Even when we get ourselves into addiction to kill the fire, to kill the power. Even when we choose another man because we unconsciously want him to break us, we unconsciously want him to tear us down because we need some force big enough to take this fire out of our belly. We go get fat to take the fire out of our belly. We go get distracted, go have 10 kids, go do another thing, go destroy yourself with this, fuck yourself up with that, to kill the fucking power. When you've truly chosen, you can't kill it. And today's topic, I want to get at with this here is never run from your power again. This is about deep body embodiment. And I'd like to talk about this in connection with the video that went up on my TikTok wall maybe about 45 minutes ago. So I want to this is for women worldwide, whether you're in Korea, Indonesia, US, Canada, France, wherever you are, Hawaii, some obscure island off of Africa, off of Italy, Russia. The Eternal Feminine Network is for all women worldwide who are this highly spiritual, ambitious, mission driven. And you have either a planetary assignment to possess a very disturbing assignment that in order for you to actually steward it, in order for you to actually be the vessel, there's so much of your preferences you got to let go of, so much of your very valid things that you're angry with, you got to let go of. There's so many things that you are required to accept about, as I said in a video that went up on YouTube a couple days ago, accepting poor human behavior, no longer avoiding taboo and dangerous things, or like anything that you would avoid, because there's power behind all these doors, the door that we avoid. And when we avoid those things, what we do is we keep ourselves blind to the power that we would be infused with and in relationship with if we were to actually do the thing that we're avoiding. And so part of being spiritual and really being the vessel for the assignment that's bigger than you, that's like, why me? That's uncomfortable. That for some of you, you're ready to pop now. For some of you, you're going to go in circles for another year or 10 years. Who knows? That's your life. It's your call. But I do want to call you in if you are ready now. Okay? I want to call you in now if you are ready. This is what the Eternal Feminine Network is for. I just say this now. Doors are open. They open today. And the price is $29 only for today and tomorrow. $29 a month. On Monday, it goes up. Then on Wednesday it goes up again. You can sign up at the link in my bio and you can read what the Eternal Feminine Network is all about when you go to the link in my bio. The real seed of the Eternal Feminine Network is about 1,000 plus, us laying it down for the next 1,000 plus years. So hello 2025, hello 2030. Assuming you're here, I'm here. To return to what I was saying about no longer avoiding whatever the thing is and gaining intimacy with the power, you open up your sight so you can also stop fearing the unknown. Or as I talked about it in the video, invisible reality. That's another way of saying the unknown. So I'm going to give a shout out to, is it Kiuna, the woman who talks about the womb and the breath, and relating that to today's topic of really coming into the body. So I know embodiment is talked about a lot in the online space. So great, yes. If you love it, if it works, do it. And I want to talk some nuance about it. There's just certain things I'm not going to talk about publicly. There's just certain things I'm not going to even talk about until I'm in conversation with the being where the unspoken knowing is there, that we can talk about it. But what I will say publicly is a large part that I know some of you identify with is you don't want to be here. You have not wanted to be here. And so because you have not wanted to be here, there's a way that you have not fully inhabited your body. Okay? Now, if you're still there, I mean, you're not ready to join the Eternal Feminine Network today. I mean, maybe you are, maybe not. Okay? But I know as someone who, and there's different ways of being in your body, because I want to be clear. I crossed the 7-figure mark years ago. And just this year, I realized there was a way that I haven't been in my body. Okay. So you can still produce positive results, not fully inhabiting your body. You just won't be the vessel that can steward the real assignment that you're here for. That's the distinction, the real assignment, which requires you really embody a kind of supernatural power, like seriously, and then learn how to wield it in a measured way so that it doesn't blow out people, so that it doesn't blow out you, so that you don't distort things. I'll leave that over there. So for those of you who know that you've been on this teetering, like I want to, but like I'm ready, but I know it's time, but, or you are right now seeing yourself in a pattern. So the pattern that I'm familiar with and personally, but then also working with women is the thing that you are really to do, you know it, but you do the thing next to it to sort of act like you're doing the real thing, but you're not doing the real thing. And so you go in that cycle, and who knows, maybe you burn yourself out because it's not the real thing. Any number of things can happen. And then you come back and you're at the same door that you were at before, where you chose to go and do the peripheral thing, not the real thing. And so if you're at the place where you're done and you know that you lack integrity and you're ready to clean that up, you know that you don't keep your word with yourself, you let ugliness within you run too much, you let evil and wicked in you run too much, you don't check it and correct it, and you want to clean that up. High self-judgment, you want to clean that up. Feast or famine, and you want to clean that up. Maybe you have a very inflated sense of self, because if you truly are chosen, there's a part of you that knows that you are the itness, that you are the one. And at the same time, you also know that you're not doing the real thing. So those two things collide, and it creates a, this war where like you want to go around powerful people. You want to act like you're powerful, but you don't want to stand fully in it, because to stand fully in it will require responsibility that you've been avoiding. This is high level. Okay. This is when I'm starting about integrity, radical honesty, being willing to voice what you sense deeply, which will put you in that admission of a sight and a power that's far beyond what is normal or typically respectable. This is next level. And that's exactly what this Eternal Feminine Network is about. This is about restoring the power that was beat out of women a long time ago through religion. This is about restoring the power that was beat out of women millennia ago through religion, through rape, through violence, through all the things. And I think the woman who would actually be a yes to this is the woman who has already done all the things that those things were meant to put in her on her way back to wholeness. So if you still want to keep, and I've been here, so this is not judging you and making you wrong. If continuing to destroy yourself at this stage in the game feels easier for you, go that way. If projecting and saying you got to do something else first, because I got kids, because I got to lose weight, because I don't like my voice, because I'm in another program, because my husband, because I live here, or because what I'm going to do, or because I don't know, whatever it is. I want to travel. Earth is ghetto. The world is ending anyway. Like anything you could say, right? And some of those are just today, right? Because I had my own version of that in 2018, early 2019. So I know what it's like to go in the circle. And at the end of the day, what it was I just was unwilling to step into the terrain. Now, I'm not saying I'm your crutch, but what I am saying is I'm here. In 2018, early 2019, there was nobody on the internet. Hell, in 2017, when I was, oh my God, first saw this heightened power that I had never seen before, and was looking for a melanin dominant woman on the world stage who was real, who was not trying to be a good Christian woman, who was not trying to be a professional PhD expert, who was trying to be, a well put together, manicured, Michelle Obama looking woman, who wasn't trying to look like, the representative of the African tribe, which is fine, right? Who was not trying to look like some archetype that we can praise because she fits so well. She represents what this world accepts of a black woman. I wanted the real thing. I wanted a woman who could be professional, who could be sexual, who was raw, who was articulate, who was smart, who was wise, who was open-hearted, who was true, who was dynamic in her expression, where I could see that she was very well experienced in the real world, in both the profane and the holy. I was looking for a dynamic black woman who was experienced in the mud of reality. Again, in the high and mighty, White House, Harvard world, and the profane of the gutter. And she could live in that range and love it all. the way Jesus did. That's what I was looking for in 2017. Not the good, decent black woman who's, wow, you're so articulate and just, and I am that, but I'm not only that. And I'm not afraid, if I want to have my titties out, to cuss a nigga out, to just be true. That's the overarching theme here. True. True. I disagree. I'm true. I love it. True. I'm not sure. True. I'm feeling aroused and oh my God, and this might not be the ideal time for me to feel that for y'all, but it's true. And the integrity to hold myself and others in high regard, even in the midst of scandalous behavior. To hold myself and others in high regard, even when somebody is being disrespectful and foul. To hold myself and others in high regard, even when I don't like a situation, I don't like a person. I don't need to like you to respect you. Like, this is the kind of women I want to rule the world. When I say rule the world, I mean the checker at Target, the woman who you pay when you go get gas, the woman watching your kids, the woman who picking you up in Uber, the woman who you go and pay your bills to, the woman who's helping you here and there, the women who are in front-facing leadership, the women in parliament, the women in the farms, you, your mama, your sisters, your aunts, all of us. That's what I mean when I say rule the world. Dynamism. Now, specifically for the Eternal Feminine Network, this is for women who know they are called to leadership. That's what the Eternal Feminine Network is for. Women who are called to leadership. It is time for those of us who are teetering on the edge of growing up to grow up, where we can have very uncomfortable conversations with each other. You know, the kind of conversation where somebody's talking with you and there's like the conversation you're having with them, but then you're having a whole other conversation back there and you can feel that they're having a whole other conversation back there. Versus when we're, this level of adulthood and maturity that I'm talking about. No, we're having a raw, honest conversation between the two of us. This is the kind of growing up that I'm talking about. And if you don't have relationships where you get a chance to practice this, it's like you never really become a woman. I want to focus on giving your soul permission to be alive in your body. Giving your soul, you coming into agreement through breath, through admission, through honestly being ready. Like this will not have the positive impact that you want it to have if you are not sincere. Okay? This is why I said earlier that I think the best women, highly spiritual, ambitious, mission-driven women who I think are ready for this and are ready for the Eternal Feminine Network are women who growing and the pain of growing and the aliveness of growing is more appealing than pain for the sake of pain. More appealing than constantly Netflixing and not doing the thing. Is more appealing than harming herself through overeating and half of her day on TikTok and spending money on nothing and letting herself be destroyed by her own thoughts and engaging in things that are beneath her. Men, friends, jobs, environments, her body, her house, environments that are beneath her. And I know it's all nuanced, so this is not hard and fast. But the love and the care and the vibration that's inside of the network is for women who are sincere. So the first 30 days inside the community, we are practicing my own all energies embodiment practice. Own all energies embodiment practice. Energies like dopamine and excitement, any energy that you have great familiarity with, right? You got that, right? Inside of Own Our Energies, I chose for us to focus on the energies that women either avoid or heavily judge. Why? And what does this have to do with You, at a heart level, coming into agreement with your soul being alive in your body and saying yes wholly to the assignment that's bigger than you. And I'll speak for myself. Being born, chosen, as I said earlier, I saw as a teenager that, like, I could just see the cradled lies, cradled into reality. I could see, like I know those of you who are chosen saw as well and continue to see. And as a teenager, I remember, and my sister even reminded me of some things that I used to say. I was like, I knew like the regular life wasn't going to work. I knew corporate wasn't going to work. And I still didn't know how to thrive as me. So as you might call yourself a star seed, a light worker. But this is really if you have an assignment that's bigger than you. Because there's a lot of like light workers and like star seed people and like reader people who don't necessarily feel like they have a call that's bigger than them. They just like to do readings. They like to do massages and body work and sell their oils and pull tarot and all that, which is fine. I'm talking about those of us who are called to do very front-facing planetary work or have teams and really move around the globe connecting with folks in different countries, you know, etc. And are either called to be very, very front-facing, like a personal brand, or you're called to be the head of a some kind of organization or movement or something relating to planetary shifts and really writing things down here. So there's a way that for a long time I was really, really not here. And so what it looks like to really, really not be here is you end up in wild ass situations. Makes me think of this young lady from somewhere in Europe. I want to say Denmark, maybe. She was in the woman community and she was talking about a situation she had with a man, which I could totally relate to. And she got out of it and she grew in her healing, and looking back at that, she was like, how did I get into that? How was I in that? And when she was telling it to me, I could clearly hear, I said, oh, because you weren't there. So I said to her, I said, oh, you weren't there. That's an example of not being in your body. Like, you're there. You open your legs, he ejaculates in you, you moan, you bend over, you shower, you go to work, you eat, you on TikTok, you talking to people, you picking up the kids, you cooking, but you're not there. That is tremendous. I've been there. You in the room with people laughing, talking, and you're not even there. Why? Because it hurts to be here and be you. Now, see, if you want to lie and, you know, like other people, it's a lot of people, it's no big deal. It's just like, well, it's what it is. And, you know, they fit so well. They fit so well, so easily. But you, to even lie and put on a whole show, to be in any room, to be at the job, to talk with your mom, to talk with men, to talk with her, to talk with it's exhausting because it ain't you. So then, if you're like she was, like I was, like so many chosen ones, black sheep, star seeds, different ones, something happens. You get tired of that, you get sick, you deteriorate, somebody die, you lose something, something gets pulled from up under you, something happens that shakes you. And you start looking at what you're doing, how much time you've wasted, how you feel, how you got to where you are. What do you really want? What am I doing? Ending up in hotels, shelters. You're not even there. You're just moving around, need somewhere to sleep, but you're not there. You're not there. Because it hurts to be here fully and really play the game of life for you with an assignment that's bigger than you. It hurts. And nobody told you that. So something about you feels wrong. Like it was a mistake for me to even be born. Like, well, what is going on here? Something is off. Because nobody told you that it hurts. Nobody told you the responsibility that's involved. Nobody told you how much you'll be required to allow things that, to the human mind, like poor human behavior. And I don't mean like you just tolerate people just, throwing sticks at you in some, outrageous way. What I'm saying is knowing that humans will behave badly and that doesn't stop you from being passionate, optimistic, elevating, forward movement, more money, more impact, more smiles, more service, greater care, expanding more in the face of vile, wicked, evil human behavior. This is what I mean. Nobody told you that would be required of you. Nobody told you. They didn't tell me. Everybody's just being good. Because spirituality is burning your incense and putting on your white head wrap and love and light. Meanwhile, can't make no money. Can't really get into the mud of reality and wield this fierce power that, wait a minute, something's going on here, but I can't seem to translate it out into the material world. Well, what's going on here? Something is off here. Yeah, see? And on top of that, all of the spiritual videos, especially in the African American community, the Black consciousness community, YouTube, chosen as like a death sentence. It's like, be scared, go in cloak mode, run, hide, don't let nobody see. Now, I'm not saying there's not a place for wisdom. But them people, no, that ain't it. First of all, humans are powerful. Then as a chosen being, how many of you have been scared of your power because you know it, you see it? And as soon as you declare responsibility about who you are, the level of perception and power and will and capability that you will have, you'll know what to move, how to move, when to move, what to say, all of this hyper cloaking, or you better get your protection and they gonna come get you and the devil is busy and y'all not even dealing in real power. You actually are in agreement with the high assignment on your life, which means if you a man, your penis can only be going inside of a chosen woman. If you're a chosen woman, your vagina is only available for a supreme being. Like this is the level of seriousness that I'm talking about. Now, I know not everybody's going to do that. Fine. But just know, like, this is the real thing. All that other stuff, they're not dealing in actual power. Somewhere along the lines, they settled somewhere. And you can still create success when you settle. So that's why, unless the thing is burning in you, which is why I brought up the Charles Bukowski poem, if it doesn't burn in you like that, you will settle. Like, the only thing that it keeps me going like this is because it burns in me. Like, believe me, I have done so much to kill it. I have done so much to avoid it, run from it, get away, ask somebody else to do it. I can't. The world don't want it. It's too much for the world. I can't. Why me? Why I got to do all that? I hate that. That shouldn't be like, if it was left up to me, this shit would have been killed years ago. You see what I mean? You see? The people who doing them videos on YouTube talking about, you better, they don't have the fire in them like that. You better cloak, you better hide. The enemy is after you. The devil is after you. They coming. You better, oh my God. Yeah, they coming through your walls because you said so. The power is stupendous. And so to finish with the woman who was in the community who said, had grown and like, how did I end up with that guy? And I related to the fact that she wasn't there. And then it's like, you just living your life and you're not there. And then eventually something happens and you start assessing, how did I get here? What am I doing? And you're like, it gets sober. It gets real, even the really good sounding stories that you would tell yourself stop having the gravity, right? So a common one is something like, I'm going to be attacked. That's compelling. I'm going to be killed if I really come out with this power. Oh God. Most people would be like, oh, wow, I know, huh? Yeah, just, right? That's, how are my kids going to be impacted by this? Ooh, buddy. But when you hit that threshold, all of that loses its gravity. It's like it quiets and suddenly it doesn't have the weight that it's had. And then through a sober lens and a sober mind, you're like, wow. And you might go through that a few times before you actually step up to the plate. Everybody has a different path. But you step up to the plate and you realize that in order to move in a real way, you have to be here. You have to be here. You have to be fully in your body. You have to actually say what you mean to people. You have to actually declare what you want and what you're after through your high order lens and the assignment that's bigger than you. Which, if you're being honest and you're looking at what are you really called to have, do, be, you're going to need an enormous amount of money because you're going to very likely want to move around because you want to serve in different ways around the world. So you want to move around the world. You want to be taken care of well. You want to eat well. And if you're eating well, it's going to cost, most likely. If you want to eat meat, if you want all the herbs. So when I say eating, I'm talking about all your herbs, all your spices, all of your bitters, you know, like I like to drink bitters and vitamin D and ashwagandha. Like you want to take all your things, right? You probably want to either some version of like hire a trainer or have a variety of health support, like through gyms and trainers and right. You want to move around, you want to be able to travel, maybe host retreats over here, you want to speak, you want to host workshops, right? This costs money. You want to have somebody to help you, maybe 2 people to help you. That costs money. And then when you start looking at how you want to live, the kind of air you want to breathe, what kind of water you want to drink, what kind of living environment you want to have, honestly, being here, not from this whole disconnected, well, I don't want to be here. Well, Earth is trash and the enemy don't like chosen people and, you know, right? So you're going to think very differently through that lens versus if you were actually in agreement and harmony with coming fully into your body, suddenly things start to wake up. And this is where the arousal on the elevated side starts to come. Like, oh shit. Wow. Okay. And it's like, for that to happen, in actuality, the money, the help, all the health, food, gym, trainer, classes, the travel, the living conditions, etc. In order for that to happen, there's activity that's required on your part, stewarding your mind a certain way that you're only going to do all this activity, the inner activity that is going to impact action you take, when you have decided to be here in your body. I'm here. And feel. So then you come up against all the pain of being here in your body. So before, when you were out of your body, there was a sort of apathy or I don't give a fuck or feeling like you're at the effect of life or like waiting for something to happen or chronic pain pointlessly, like pointless pain. Like I got back pain and it's just everything hurts all the time for no reason, right? That kind of thing. And for me, with this ritual, including Own All Energies, that I started doing very actively in my bed about 2 weeks ago, it was actual telling my soul, and I cried because it was an acknowledgement of how much I was not here. This didn't even happen until I realized how much of the results that I want to produce, I have not produced. And I'm looking at it through a sober lens in this particular way because I'm genuinely, that's why I say the sincerity matters, I genuinely want to move now. I want to finally have the team that I've been hollering about for the last year. Like a new team. A1 performers. And I'm crying because I'm like, oh my God. So, and part of the tears was also like, part of me felt bad for even asking my soul to be here. So I cried about that. And like, this is all the pain that I'm talking about coming descending down into your body so that you can live a rich life according to what you want. You're a chosen being, superconductor. What? And then you give your soul permission to come into your body and you're in agreement with that at a heart level. Then you say yes to the call that's bigger than you. What? Like what? And then you link up with high integrity people who are honest, who are trustworthy, who are playing a game that's bigger than them, that's dedicated to the long term. What? Leave the rest of them over there. I'm telling you, I did my Noah work for 5 years. I'm finished. Yeah, just the elite, the elect, the ones, baby. I'm telling you, as me, knowing who I am and what the real deal, you want to be in relationship with your likeness. That's part of the assignment. To be in relationship with your likeness is for you two to work together in true love to do the work that's bigger than you. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. There's no way. You know what I mean? I did my part. And that's also part of what had me be finished with that cycle and have me ready to fully inhabit my body. So now I can move on to the next level. Because that was also part of the reason why I wasn't moving, was because I needed to finish reaching out to folks and doing my part. So I don't feel any kind of like I didn't finish and then want to go back because something in me feels like I didn't finish, you know? So I went all the way. Even when I was pissed off about going, I kept going. Why? I don't want to. Why? But I kept until I finally got doors closed and just like, it just, some of you don't want to waste more time or spend more of your lifetime overturning things through experience. You want to collapse time by way of being in relationship inside the Eternal Feminine Network. And activating a speed that happens when you're in the right proximity with the right people, with this kind of power, the real kind. And then learning the higher level energetics to take up more space on the world stage, being melanin dominant, being able to interface with people's unconscious mind in real time without crashing out, without feeling like you need to hide because someone is triggered or uncomfortable with your presence and they don't even know why. Like these kind of energetics. So like I said earlier, I really think the Eternal Feminine Network is for the woman who you've already, you can see yourself enough to know that you've been cycling and you don't want to cycle anymore. And whatever is going to be required of you, you're ready to step into it over the long term. Oof. Come on. And you can sign up for the Eternal Feminine Network at the link in my bio. Today and tomorrow, it is the lowest price it will be, which is $29 a month or $348 for the year. Only today and tomorrow. So 6 p.m. tomorrow, it goes up to $39. And you can read details on the page about what's included. What is it? What is it about? What's included? You can read all those details and sign up at the link in my bio. All right, the end. Thank you so much for being here.